So what I was talking about is over here in right shift. Yeah, in right shift. See here, 0 is replaced with 0. Over here 1. The new upcoming bit is 1 only over here. This is because to preserve the sign of a number. If this is a positive number, the next number after shifting also will be positive number. If this is the negative number, the next number generated after shifting right is a negative number. But whereas in unsigned right shift, you can see over here, though over here it is 1, but when you're performing right shift, it is not 1 over here, it is 0 only because of unsigned right shift. So what actually is happening in unsigned right shift is there is no preservation of the signature of the number. So I hope you all have understood. So remember, for unsigned right shift operator, this is the symbol. So over here you can see a equal to -1. So a equal to -1 when for 32 bits. You see this is 32-bit number. 8 bits, then 16, then 24, then 32. So you all can calculate this. How to represent 1 in the form of zeros and ones you write. Then how to write -1 is perform 2's complement. First 1's complement, then 2's complement. Already I've explained in the last classes what is 1's complement, what is 2's complement. Okay, making a number to become into a negative number in the form of binary. So this is what actually is a negative number 1. Okay, 2's complement number it is of 1, that is -1. So after performing unsigned right shift 24 times, you will get this number. So this is actually, okay, the number which is generated after performing 24 times the unsigned right shift, which is positive number. Okay, now one point to remember, students, where this unsigned right shift will be used is this situation is common when you are working with pixel based values and graphics. Remember, over there this kind of unsigned right shift operator will be used. Okay, you will generally you want to shift a 0 into high order bit no matter what is the initial value was. Okay, means you're not going to consider with the signature of a number. Remember this. Okay, now as I have explained the last two programs, you all practice these programs. Okay, having any doubt you can ask me. The next is bitwise operator compound assignment. Okay, now you see the same statement can also be written as like this. Okay, like compound assignment operators were there, no? Similarly bitwise compound assignment operator is also there. A equal to a or b shorthand, that is can also be written as like this. Okay, please perform or calculate with paper and pen also these programs. Okay, you can able to get the output, but you try to practice this. Okay, write zeros and ones for 1 2 3 in the form of zeros and ones you write, and perform OR operator with A only. Perform right shift one time for B. Over here perform left shift for C one time. Over here perform exclusive OR operation of A and C. Okay, you will get this outputs. If you're having doubt, you can ask me. It's very simple. Now relational operators, see here the next core topic. The relational operators determine the relationship that one operand has to the other. Okay, especially they determine the equality and ordering. So this is the table of relational operator. Okay, the output will be in the form of zeros and ones. See here this one, here a equal to 4 and b is equals to 1. So what is boolean? C will be initialized with a less than b. What is a less than b? 4 less than 1, that is false. So C will be initialized to false. Now one more point, if you are coming from you all are coming from C, C++ background, please note the following, that in C, C++, these types of two statements, this type of statements are very common. It is done, if not done is valid in C, but done which is not valid in Java. Okay, means done can be true. Okay, so not done means not true. So which is valid in C, whereas not valid in Java. Okay, Java statements must be written like this: done double equal to 0 when you are dealing with relational operators. Okay, why? Because over here int is done is not a boolean value. Sorry, I said a boolean value. No, sorry. Done is over here, which is int. Okay, so 0, not 0 means that is 1, which is valid in C++. Over here, 0 cannot be termed as true or false in Java. Whereas suppose if you are going to use the relational operator, that will be valid in Java. So done double equal to 0. That is correct. You can see the reason is that Java does not define true or false in the same way as C++, because in C++ over here, that is uh, if this is not false, it is valid. Whereas this is false, which is not valid in Java because it will only deal with 0 and 1s. So you can see in Java, true and false are non-numeric values that do not relate to 0 or non-zero. The next is Boolean logical operators. See, Boolean logical operators, again, logical operators means same thing, or, and, exclusive or, not a, but in the form of true and false. Okay, Boolean bitwise operators means in the form of zeros and ones. Boolean logical operators means in the form of zeros and ones. Same concept that is over here also. Then next is short circuit logical operators. Student, this is very, very important. Short circuit logical operators. Okay. The Java provides two interesting Boolean operators not found in some other computer languages. Okay. These are the secondary versions of Boolean and or operators and are commonly known as short circuit logical operators. Okay. Directly, I will explain you with the program itself. Over here, see over here, there is one value, denominator not equal to 0. Then short circuit Boolean AND operator, which is performing AND operation with the number when divided by denominator greater than 10. Means what? Suppose I'll give you one thing, one point to remember. Suppose denominator over here, denominator, this part is 0. So what will happen? This will become false. So if this is false, it will skip this part. It will not evaluate this part. Unless and until this part is true, then only the compiler will evaluate this. Okay. I'm repeating again. See, this is bitwise and bitwise Boolean, and this is, if suppose this part is true, then only it will evaluate this part. Suppose if this part is false, it will not evaluate this. It will leave. I hope you all have understood this. So you can see over here, since the short circuit form of AND which is used, there is no risk of causing runtime exception when denominator is 0. Okay, when suppose if it is 0, what will happen? This number, this number will not get divided by 0 because it will cause an error. So if this line of code are written in single version, what will happen? Suppose over here, this is not there. Only one AND operator is there. And suppose this is 0. Okay. So it will evaluate this 0 not equal to 0 is false, and also it will evaluate this part. Number gets divided by 0. So it will cause what? Runtime error. So in order to remove this kind of confusion, this short circuit AND can be used. What is short circuit AND is? The first part, if it is true, then only the second part will be evaluated. If the first part is false, it need not evaluate the second part, no matter whatever it is, true or false. I hope you all have understood this. Then just 2 minutes it will take for me to explain this. The assignment operator, you see, var equal to expression int xyz. See, all the three variables can also be written like this. That is x equal to y equal to z, which is set to 100. This you have learned in your Python also. Then the ternary operator, you see the ternary operator is conditional operator, which you have learned in your C language. Expression 1 question mark, expression 2 colon, expression 3. If expression 1 is correct, the answer is expression 2. If expression 1 is wrong, that is false, the answer will be expression 3. Okay, like you can see over here, this example. Okay, over here, the expression is this. This is the expression. Okay, this part is expression 1. Okay, this one is expression 2 and this part is expression 3. Okay, 1, this arrow mark is representing 2, this one, the one which I've rounded, is 3. Okay, if 1 is correct, that is if denom is 0, 0 double equal to 0, the answer will be this second with the arrow. If suppose denominator is some number, denom is some number which is not equal to 0, so obviously this question mark will give you that is false. So the answer will be 3. Over here now the number gets divided by denominator. I hope you all have understood this. Okay. Then this is a simple program. You will practice this. I equal to 10, 10 less than 0. Okay, then k will be initialized with minus I, that is minus 10. So over here you see it will print 10 and 10 is k is, sorry, I was wrong. This is the ternary operator. No, over here I is less than 0, that is 10 is less than 0, that is false, so the answer will be the expression 2. So k will be 10. So over here it will print 10, here also it will print 10. Now over here you see I is equals to minus 10. So you see here this ternary operator expression 1, minus 10 less than 0, that is correct. So the answer will be minus I, that is minus of minus 10 plus 10. So k will be initialized with plus 10. So over here the output will be I will be minus 10, and over here k from the above statement it is plus 10. Okay, this is one demo program for the understanding of ternary operator. Okay, operator precedence, just look at this table. These are the, just a minute. This is the precedence of the operators in Java. Okay, we'll see with this example, simple example in the next class. It's very simple. It will take one more or 2-3 minutes. Okay, now you all can leave, can join your next class. Wait a minute. Okay, you all can join your next class.